Gohan versus Cell. Now, I did a short about this a while back when I was starting off, and my voice is kind of out a little bit, and I definitely wanted to do another full-length video where we're going to go in depth about this topic and just give a little bit more information about this and tell you guys the honest truth about the Gohan versus Perfect Cell fight. Now, let's get into it. Before we get into this video, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so you can catch all new updates of new videos and shorts that we drop daily. Now let's get into the video. Now first I want to say we're talking about Gohan and his Super Saiyan transformation, not Super Saiyan 2, where I was pretty much stating in the short that Gohan and his Super Saiyan transformation was either as strong as Cell or stronger. Now, this video we're gonna do evidence about Gohan kind of being stronger than Cell in his regular Super Saiyan transformation, which is why he was just a monster in his Super Saiyan 2 transformation, just pretty much washing Cell in that transformation. But him being too cocky is what led him to almost being defeated and almost having the whole Earth destroyed when he could have finished Cell off. Now, Gohan as a Super Saiyan, he watched Goku and Cell fight, and he felt like they were not going all out. Goku told him that he didn't know about Cell, but he definitely was going all out, which I'm going to do another video on this about Goku probably having much more power in his fight with Cell, but that's for another video. But let's get back. So Gohan is stating that, he felt like they was holding back because he was comparing them to his power, which everyone was kind of shocked at this. Now, mind you, when Gohan decided to do this fight with Cell, he doesn't want to fight. So the whole time is Gohan is saying about all this, he's kind of like scared of himself because he knows all his life he had this type of rage boost that would come out and he would showcase more power than everyone. And at this time, Gohan is pretty much saying that he's afraid that, he don't want to unleash this power because Gohan probably doesn't know what will happen pretty much when he cut loose, and he's kind of afraid of that. So at the whole time, Gohan is holding back and not really wanting to fight Cell at this time. And at this time frame, Gohan is not motivated into the fight either. So Gohan is fighting Cell, and when he decides to finally get serious, he ends up striking Cell, injuring him. Now Cell is kind of surprised and saying that and even before this even happened, when Gohan powered up, everyone was kind of shocked, and Cell was like, Goku wasn't bluffing of what he's saying, but to say that he was stronger than him, then he said Goku kind of just exaggerated a little bit. But at this time, remember, Gohan is just powering up regularly, but he's still not like taking the fight as serious either. So at this point, you can kind of see there's a comparison in the power of what Gohan is showcasing just from this brief moment. Now, when Gohan becomes Super Saiyan 2, we have to keep in mind when after Cell blows himself up and returns as super perfect form Cell, which they're stated to be that this is supposed to be Cell equivalent to Super Saiyan 2. Mind you, Cell returns in this new Super Saiyan 2 form transformation of himself, which him getting a Zenkai, which we know Zenkai boost is pretty much supposed to, you're usually scaled. It's not specifically stated, but you're usually scaled to be stronger than the person that damage or the power level you're sensing at the time, which is why Goku was able to, shoot up in his power when he went to go fight Frieza. Even though Frieza was still in his, not his 100% form, which he was still stronger than Goku even after this boost, which is kind of the same case with Gohan, because Gohan is still in the Super Saiyan 2 transformation. Gohan didn't fight Cell at his full power either in the Super Saiyan 2 transformation. So Cell was still way weaker than Gohan even with his Zenkai boost returning. And the only thing that made things kind of like, give Cell an advantage was Gohan protecting Vegeta and getting injured, and which kind of like, dropped down his power a little bit. But Gohan and Goku could even sense it and say, Gohan, you still have way more power than Cell, even though you're still injured, pretty much. So at this point, Cell only just, you know, at his full power, fighting Gohan, who's pretty much, I'll just say roughly, let's say Gohan's at half strength and fighting Cell, and he still has enough power to pretty much defeat, you know, perfect form Cell in his super perfect form, and in the power struggle. And then at that time, Gohan is still holding back while he's pretty much not at his full power. He's still holding back at this point. So pretty much at this point, he's he doesn't want to like pretty much destroy the earth with his power, because Gohan is still unsure of himself and doesn't want to cause any more damage, because he's still feeling all that guilt from letting, you know, Goku sacrifice himself. And it's kind of eating him up, and seeing that, you know, Trunks got injured and Vegeta got injured and all, he feel like all that stuff is his fault. So at this point, he's kind of like feeling guilt and pretty much kind of like bashing himself. So he's not really wanting to fight, because he's kind of like broken. Now, like I said, if Goku had, you know, the power of Gohan in the fight with Cell, and just Super Saiyan, base Super Saiyan Gohan, not Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. If Goku had that power, Goku probably would have defeated, you know, Cell if they're in their first fight. Now, also another thing people got to realize is that Cell got stronger twice in his fight with Gohan. He got stronger from, well, not in the fight, but he got stronger after eating the Senzu bean and getting that, you know, powered up, and then after him returning with the Zenkai boost after blowing himself up. So, and that still wasn't enough to stop Gohan. So as we go back, and there's more evidence to this as we go into the series, and this comes also from like just a filler arc of Goku and Pikkon going to take on perfect form Cell, Frieza, King Cold, and the Ginyu Force. Now, mind you, this is a thing where another comparison is that Pikkon comes in and he pretty much one-shot Cell. Goku, knowing how strong super perfect form Cell is, that they just defeated him not that long ago, and Goku is ready to go ahead and take on, you know, Cell at this point, which evidently shows that Goku would have gotten stronger than Cell after, if he ate a Senzu bean and after their fight. Now, with that being said, as we look back at Gohan, you know, Gohan is still considered to be, like I said, a monster at this point, because he's still being stated, like, you know, Vegeta still talk about this even after Gohan is like a teenager in high school, and still saying that how much power that he had, which I'm going to do another video about this, about Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and how he will compare in a fight against Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Vegeta during the Buu arc, but that'll be a different video as well. But Gohan, we never got to see ever in the series Gohan fight at full power in his Super Saiyan 2 transformation. Never got to see that. So nobody knew exactly just how much power Gohan had. And there's just a thing in Dragon Ball, like usually we'll get stronger enemies, and then usually they'll get stronger transformations and stuff like that. But it's just like with Gohan, it's just, you know, to this day we never got to see him use his full power of Super Saiyan 2 even in the Buu arc. Like even in the Buu arc, you know, we already know Gohan was slacking on his training, so he was not the same Gohan. And then when he finally got back on point, he was Ultimate Gohan at this point, which he didn't need Super Saiyan 2. So we never got a chance to see the showcase of Super Saiyan 2 Gohan ever at full power. It's just like Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. We never got to see the full power of Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 either, because it came out so quick and he was dominating his opponent. So how can you really estimate the power of that character if, you know, you never see them use the full power of that character, and it never gets to a point where they fight a stronger enemy after the fact and that person is still at that, you know, current power, because Gohan was not the same Gohan at that time. And then when he finally trains and got back, he ends up learning a new form, and we've seen him do, you know, do better. So same thing with a comparison with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. We never got to see his full power, so who will know what exactly? We just know the potential. And if someone is pretty much wiping the floor with somebody. If Gohan Super Saiyan 2 is wiping the floor with perfect form Cell with ease, and just like Gogeta wiping the floor with Omega Shenron, and we're just using that as that's their base, like basic power of what they're using. They're very like, if we gonna use like an example like Frieza, who's using like 1% of his power in his perfect in his final form, and just to see how much stronger he gets when he uses 100% of his power. It's almost like something like that we have to kind of like look at when we are, judging the power of him. So Gohan, I also stated back in the short that, Gohan could have defeated Cell in just Super Saiyan form. He was so raged out and cutting loose his power, it just him access to open up that SSJ2. But the thing about that is, like I said, you got to look at it from a writing standpoint. It's all about showcasing the next evolution of the forms and everything like that. But if Gohan was just mad and he didn't, turn Super Saiyan 2 in his fight with Cell, and he just raged out and powered up and fought Cell seriously, he would have been stronger than Cell. And that's why I said, if someone like Goku had Gohan's power level at that time, he would have probably utilized it way better, just from seeing how well Goku did against Cell in their fight, and he was not as strong as Gohan. So those are all just little things and evidence and clues that you have to just look at in the series and kind of see, because just everything was just, kind of like winning Gohan over. And it goes back to even with Gohan back in the Saiyan saga, where Piccolo is trying to like, motivate Gohan to use his powers, and he got way more power. And at times Gohan just don't know how to tap into it, and he was scared. So usually it's mental blockage that gets in the way of Gohan, whether he's scared or he just doesn't, want to fight. Those are usually the two things. The most times I'll say is when he's on Namek. That was probably the most that we seen Gohan ever truly just wanted to like, fight, because he knew he was fighting for something to like, he had to, bring Piccolo back and bring everyone else back, and kind of like, just on a mission. And that was the most that we ever seen Gohan ever in the series, where he's just like, serious and ready to go and stuff like that. Unlike every other time beforehand and after, he's deciding that, he doesn't want to fight, he doesn't want to get involved, and that's not what he wants to do and stuff like that. So that's something about Gohan's character that we usually see. And like I said, a lot of people miss a lot of these clues, and missing that just how powerful Gohan was around this time. And like I said, he definitely was much more powerful than Cell, which is why he really just completely outclassed Super Perfect Form Cell after, with him having that transformation that's supposed to be scaled to Super Saiyan 2. He still was no match for Gohan, because if that was the case, if he was stronger, then they would have been on an equal, like, Cell would have pretty much won if that was the case. He would have pretty much won the fight if he was stronger than Gohan in his, Super Saiyan transformation, because now you're getting a boost on top of it, and you're unlocking a form that's supposed to be equal to what Gohan is, and he still was no match. And you're fighting Gohan who's injured, and his power has been, depleted, and he still won. So these are all little clues that people just got to check in with. Like I said, let us know in the comment, what do you think? Do you think Gohan was stronger than Cell even as a Super Saiyan? And do you think that, Cell was stronger? So just drop a like, hit the comments, tell us what you think about this, and we'll see you guys for the next video.